Hello family. So, let me tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made. I was young, had a few kisses here and there, nothing serious. But then I started dating this girl who lived in a racist neighborhood. It was one of those spots where if you weren't from there, you weren't welcome. And I definitely didn't look like I belonged. It made seeing her a real problem. I remember one time, me and a friend went to see her, and we literally got chased out of the neighborhood. Since I couldn't drive yet, walking through that area daily became too risky. So, we eventually had to break up. Not long after, I met someone new. She had just moved into my area. I told her sister I thought she was cute, and turns out she felt the same way. We clicked instantly. Man, she was my first real love. We were together all the time. Her family was cool. They let me stay over. Before I knew it, I was spending more time with her than with my own friends. We went to different schools. Whenever she planned to cut class, she let me know the day before to hang out. So one day, a few months in, we both decided to skip school and meet at her house. Her school was further, so I got there first. When she finally got home, she told me some kids at the park near my block were messing with her. One of them even tried to grab her hand. Hearing that, I just saw red. I'd never felt that kind of jealousy or anger before. I told her I'd be right back and stormed out to find out who it was. When I got to the park, I saw it wasn't just one guy. It was for older kids. I didn't care, walked straight up to them and was like, "Yo, who tried to grab my girl?" One of them stood up, real cocky, and said, "Yeah, it was me." "What are you gonna do about it?" I was outnumbered. So I just paused, told them, "All right, you can have this one," and I ran home. Back then, we didn't have cell phones, so I paged my brother with the emergency code. He called back in minutes. I told him there was a problem at the park, and he said he'd meet me there. While I was waiting, I went into the closet and grabbed a wooden baseball bat. I was just sitting outside with it when an older friend pulled up. I told him what went down, and he was like, "Get in. Let's go find them." We drove around for a bit and spotted two of them sitting on a stoop. We circled the block, slammed on the brakes, and I jumped out with the bat. Just as I was walking up to them, a whole crew of my friends ran up the street out of nowhere. Suddenly, I wasn't outnumbered anymore. I wasn't thinking about consequences. All I could think about was proving myself with everyone watching. They started going inside, but before one of them could get through the door, I grabbed his shirt and yanked him back. I swung the bat with one hand and hit his shoulder. I swing again, and he went down. The second it happened, everyone scattered. I just ran. I ran to my girlfriend's house, ditching the bat in a sewer on the way. I got there and started trying to explain everything to her. Then the doorbell rang. Her mom checked it was the cops. I told them to act normal. Let them in if they had to. I hid under the bed. They came in, said they were looking for someone matching my description, but thought maybe they had the wrong house since they all looked the same. They did a quick search, but never looked under the bed, and then they left. As soon as they were gone, I called my dad. I told him what I did. He begged me to turn myself in, but I was too scared. I called a friend, and he agreed to drive me out of state that night. Walking out of her house, I thought I was going to get arrested right there, but the street was empty. I stayed with a relative who helped me with the room, even got me a fake ID. A few days later, I heard detectives went to my family's house. I told myself I wasn't going back, but then it hit me. I couldn't see my family again. They were being watched because of me. The weight of it all crushed me. I knew I had to face it. My family got me a lawyer, and that gave me the courage to turn myself in. The kid suffered serious injuries, but thankfully he survived and has recovered from them. Then it was time for me to finally grow up and take responsibility for everything. The next morning, I walked into the precinct and asked for the detective who came to my house. They took a quick picture of me and told me to wait. About 30 minutes later, an officer came over and told me to put my hands behind my back. Someone in the next room had just identified me. They put me in a holding cell. A few hours later, an officer asked what I wanted for my last real meal before I went away for a long time. I couldn't even think about food. All I could say was, "Can I just have a drink?" That was the moment my life changed forever. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Stay tuned for more. If you liked this, please follow for more stories. Stop. Peace.